Hello, Instagram Live. Hope you guys are having a wonderful morning so far. My name is Taryn Daly for radio.com, and I'm so excited we're going to be joined by Amy Lee of Evanescence in just a few moments. So can you guys hear me okay? Give me like the okay or a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. Hello, Alex Whisperer 96. Hi, Noko. Hello, PJ. Nice to see you all here today. What's up, Wendy? Woo! Hello, Anne. So everybody can hear okay. All right. Thanks, Ryan. Thank you, Ryan. You're the best. I hope you guys are enjoying your Friday. It's 10 o'clock in the morning where I am on the west side of the United States of America. So where are you guys? Everybody drop it in the comments. Whereabouts are you? Whereabouts are you? Let's see. Oh, Argentina in the house. That's super exciting. Let's see here. Who else? We got Bulgaria, Argentina, Mexico, Texas. Amy Lee in the house here. Who's celebrating a 30th birthday today? Happy birthday. Amy, hi!
Hi, how are you?
I am so good. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm happy. I'm excited about our song coming out. It's been a long time.
I am too. So I have to tell you, I have an 11-month-old, almost 1-year-old baby boy, and we were jamming out to the song this morning. He loves to dance, and we were so excited to listen to Use My Voice, and I just felt like belting it out from the top of my lungs, and I'm sure everybody watching that's already had a chance to listen is feeling the same way that I am today.
That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, but you gotta
sing along. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It's a total anthem, and you enlisted the help of some friends. So why don't you walk us through how that all came together and getting a powerhouse of incredible women in rock together to collaborate on a great song like Use My Voice.
I am so fortunate to have such incredibly beautiful, talented friends. I wanted it to be my friends. Actually, Dina, one of the ladies that is singing on the song from the band Viridia, we're close friends. And I had her come over one day because I was just writing. It was last fall. And I've had that song kind of bubbling for a while and was sort of stuck on the chorus. And we just kind of listen to each other's stuff sometimes and help each other out or give each other ideas or whatever. I was just talking through it with her, and she totally helped me write that chorus and break through on finishing the song because I had a lot of it, but not all of it. And it so much, like from the get-go, had to do with leaning on my girlfriends. And that meant so much. And when we wrote, that call, I was like, this needs to be a bunch of people. And it shouldn't be just any people. They should be real people, like my real friends and family. And I know so many rad, amazing women. And it was just fun. It's been so cool watching it all come together. We all live all over the place. So mostly the girls just recorded themselves and sent the audio to me, and we piled it all up together. But just to feel their support in a song that is different thematically for me and for us as a band, and it's stepping out and stepping up in a new way. I'm just feeling that support in that music feels so great. I'm so grateful to them.
It's so funny that we're talking about this today because yesterday I saw a t-shirt on a woman that said babes supporting babes. And I thought, yes. And I love that we're living in this time where women are supporting women and we are backing each other up and standing up for one another and being there for each other. So I think that just the fact that I saw that shirt and then we were talking about this song, it was like the universe was speaking to me.
Awesome.
So I think everybody's feeling so pumped about this. You guys have a 5th album on the way out, The Bitter Truth. I actually have a question from, this is from the Instagram world, from Louise Cavalcanti. He wants to know if The Bitter Truth is going to have a deluxe version with bonus tracks.
I don't know. It's one of those things where this has just been such a different experience because it's kind of out now if you want to think of it that way. Like the way that we've been releasing the songs, I didn't want it to be traditional, like, here you go, here's the whole album. I sort of wanted it to be like, we're all in this together, and let's talk about this song first, and let's talk about this other one, and we're still writing, like we're still creating right now, we're still in the studio, like, so I love that about it. And it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, but there will be a time when it's like, okay, here's the rest of it. I don't know when exactly that is, but I don't want to announce the release date before it's done and then rush. I want it to be done. And
yeah.
Then, okay, here's the day.
I'm totally into that. And then we got another question regarding the new single from Jujuva on Instagram that says, question about the single cover, that image. She said she was analyzing it and saw the kind of the moth there, and your mouth is covered with the song title. Is that a possible reference to the Silence of the Lambs movie, or is that just a total coincidence?
Oh, that's not that. That moth was sort of inspired by our second album, The Open Door. That was a fragment of artwork from that time. I kind of wanted it to just have a bunch of little pieces of almost like subliminal messaging, just like a bunch of things going on. So just a piece of our stuff.
I'm sorry if anybody hears my that was my rooster crowing in the background.
Awesome.
I'm sorry.
Where do you live?
I live in Stanwood, Washington, which is about an hour north of Seattle. So I am out in the sticks out here.
That's awesome.
So sorry, he's chiming in now. I've got another question from Agro POC. How many songs will the album have? And will there be any orchestra in The Bitter Truth?
I don't know. That's up in the air, actually, about the orchestra. I was just asking the question the other day, like, if we did want some stuff, like, is that actually possible right now to get those people in a room? And I think it is. Like, there's a way. You just wouldn't have like a giant orchestra, which actually usually when you track strings, you don't have the full orchestra, and it's usually a bunch of layers of a smaller group. So it's possible. Whether we're going to do it, I don't know. You know what? We started recording this stuff before the pandemic hit us here in the States, and we didn't want it to be a really stringy orchestral thing. We just did synthesis. We just did that other thing, and I really wanted to embrace the other side of us. And so we've actually been really enjoying, I love synthesizers and keyboards and programming and just sound. So we've been going another way because we wanted to.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry.
Brewster's amazing.
I don't know why he's sitting right underneath me right now. Like, are you kidding me, dude? Get out of here. Oh my gosh. Got another great question here, and I'm actually super curious to know this too. Karima Miras wants to know if you have been listening to any new singers or bands that maybe you want to shine a light on and tell us about that we could check out.
Wait, what was that last thing I just... That's so hard in the moment every time. If I could swipe back over to my Shazam, I might be able to tell you. Yeah, that's a tough one. This one's not super new, but I really like this girl Aurora.
Ooh.
It's really neat. It's pop and a different kind of pop. It's kind of like in the way that Bjork is pop, sort of more like almost like tribal, awesome Celtic inspired electronic. I don't know.
Ooh.
That's
You have piqued my interest. I'm excited about that. Another question. So obviously we were treated to your cover of The Chain, which was the second I heard it, it was the video game trailer. And the second I heard it, I knew it was you. I had never heard the cover before, and I just knew it was you. And it was what a cool thing to have that kind of voice that when you hear it, you just know who it is. There's no question. But We've got a question from Zalix Links. Hey, Amy, if you wanted to cover another song of one of your favorite artists, Evanescence style, which one would it be?
Probably the Beatles. We kind of went through a little Beatles renaissance the past couple years. I mean, that's an easy one. Everybody's covered the Beatles. But it's a realm that we enjoyed on our synthesis tour with that. We did a cover of Across the Universe that was very different and orchestrated beautifully. And the power of performing that song was so cool. I'd like to do a studio version of that.
I love that. I'm here for that for sure.
Cool.
So another question comes from Emma Fabiana 16 on Instagram. She says, "Hey Amy, so far The Bitter Truth, there is a very powerful sound. Is the album going to follow this entire style, or should we expect some softer songs too, maybe where you play the harp?"
Ooh, I haven't been playing the harp lately, to be very honest. It's not all, obviously, you know, you want an album to be dynamic. That's the whole point of an album, is that it has ups and downs and different textures and contrast. I love that. That's a big part of who we are and what album making is. But I would say that the songs you've heard so far are, this is the album, you know, this is the sound of us now and what we're doing. So yeah, we're gonna take some turns, but there's not right now any traditional piano ballad. No, no.
All right. That's exciting. We're just pumped up over here, and we're going to actually take it to Twitter now because the Twitter family of Evanescence fans is going bananas right now.
Okay.
Amanda X_X says, "Love you. The music is amazing as well. You have made an immensely inspiring impact on my life. Do y'all ever get overwhelmed or anything by just that outpouring of love and support that the fans give you?"
Oh, well, I mean, there have been times like I mostly feel overwhelmed, like in a really positive way, especially when we can be in person. Our meet and greets have become something that give me a lot of life and inspiration and motivation at our concerts. And we didn't, I mean, we've done meet and greets for a long time, but they kind of have become more. We had started, you know, I don't know what that's going to be like now, but for our future, but meet and greets and that time that we get to spend actually hearing back from the fans and what they have to say. And so many of them offer up really personal experiences and stories and ways that the music has been a part of their life and their journey. Those are all really, that's inspiration for me. Having a tear come to the eye during a meet and greet is almost like part of a day. So yeah, it does get overwhelming. It's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, and obviously quarantine and coronavirus has kind of, you know, separated us, but we're at least able to, you know, connect over Instagram Live. And thank you, Internet, for being here when we need you the most. And, you know, we kind of are going to circle back to a question about the creative process of the band. This is from, let's see, Evan Mexico FC on Twitter. How has the creative process of the band been for you guys in quarantine?
It's been a little tricky. We had been working a lot remotely, which is normal. I like to get in the zone by myself and write and kind of, you know, get some kind of a start going before we come together. And then we do come up with some ideas just on the spot together, which is awesome. But I like to like do my homework first. So it's like, okay, I've got these 5 ideas. Like, check this out. Let's start from here. But we had to be in that zone for a lot longer, where we couldn't be together. So it definitely, it got to a point where I was like, I feel stuck. And we finally got to a point of like, I don't think we're going to be able to do anything else until we get together in person somehow. And about a month ago, we started like looking into, okay, how do we do that? Like, how can we make that possible? Like, how can we safely come together in a way where we can finish writing these songs and get them to a place? And we bubbled up and all took COVID tests, and the American band members, Jen has to stay in Germany and work remotely with us. But a tour bus, we all live all over the country. So a tour bus, you know, brought Tim from California and brought Troy and Will from the East Coast. And we all got our negative, did I say positive? Negative COVID tests. I feel like I just said I've got a positive.
Woo!
Sorry, that's not positive at all. Yeah, and like just like created a very small team and we're in Nick's private studio and just made the creation our life. And the fact that we were so grateful to finally be able to get together, and we knew how rare and precious it was, and we knew how grateful to be for the fact that we'd been able to make it happen, made the energy that much more intense and exciting. And it just has given us a new fire and purpose in this time, where music for me is saving me. It is the thing that lets me continue like being who I am and continue living like somehow like by expressing ourselves in that way. It's awesome. I'm so grateful. Yeah. It has been a very different process.
My heart's like pounding just thinking about that too. Like, oh, you got to hang out with people? That must have been so great.
I know. I
That
know.
is so magical.
And it
I
was
can
so
only
weird
imagine.
because we get together and be like, okay, so what are we gonna do? Like, I made a peanut butter jelly sandwich. What'd you guys do for lunch? Like, we had top ramen at the studio. It's been like just a different thing.
Well, and I can only imagine that you wrote, the song "Use My Voice," quite a while back, but that is such a, powerful song for kind of what everybody's kind of going through right now. And people are standing up, they're speaking their truth. They're saying what they feel. Does that, what kind of, potential, messages kind of that lean into that world can we expect from the Bitter Truth? Is there going to be more of that? Because I think a lot of people are feeling very empowered through a song like that. Is there going to be more of that on the album?
I am still writing lyrics, and everything that's going on is big in my heart. So yes, but this is that song. I think I can say that confidently. But yes, that is in my heart, and that is going to come out in other ways. And all the big feelings that we feel, I am going to be just honest. I just have to. I have to. It's my one place to completely, I cannot do anything but speak like the deepest parts of my heart.
And I think that is something that we all love and respect so much as your fans. There's a question from Rox, #UseMyVoice on Twitter, that says, how do you feel about sharing your thoughts about whether it's politics or social injustice? I'm really happy that you and Evanescence are doing this because using the voice and the influence that you have is so important right now. Thank you.
That's awesome. How do I feel? It's actually a little scary. It's empowering and it's wonderful, but it does take courage to speak your mind. Especially when I realize how delicate it is, not to divide people. I don't want to be a part of dividing people. I want to be a part of uniting people. And I'm always keeping that at the forefront of my mind. But at the same time, you also have to be true to yourself. And in this time, there are moments and there are events where being silent is its own statement. And that's not a statement I want to make.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. And I'm so happy to hear the way that you feel. We have another question from the Ev community on Twitter. Let's say you challenged, this is fun. Let's say you challenged Sharon to a cornhole match during a Red Solo Cup tour bus parking lot after party. Would you win? Asking for a friend.
I need to ask her. That's tough because I think they do that too. Is that who I had that conversation? Cornhole is, you're reading this question not having any backstory. Cornhole is a part of our touring life and history. This is part of our legacy, is cornhole championships, especially during summer tours. There's always cornhole in the bay of the bus, and after the shows we like to get together with whoever's on the bill, the whole crew, everybody. People obviously have to load out, so the crew comes out late, but those parties can go pretty late. Just playing cornhole right outside the bus. You can do it if you want. It's no big deal. But there also may be nights where it gets pretty serious, and we have teams and we have boards, and we will go head to head for hours on end. And I love cornhole, and it made me sad to hear that, because like I should have had that already this year. We would have had that championship if our tour went on. So you know what? We will find out the answer to that question next year, please, hopefully.
Yes. Actually, on that note, we have people watching and tuning in from all over the place, and everybody's saying, come to Brazil, come to Portugal, come to Scandinavia.
No.
What's a place on your list, maybe that you haven't been yet, that you would love to tour once things open back up?
Oh, that's hard. It's hard. Well, we love Brazil. I mean, we've been there plenty of times. So I want to go back to a lot of places that we have been, because we've been so many places that we feel like at home in those other countries. We miss our fans abroad. But I've actually never been to Cuba. I would love to go there. It's tricky. I grew up in South Florida as a kid. And Cuban culture and Cuban food and Cuban music were like, that reminds me of being young. of being a kid, and I've actually just always wanted to visit there. So I wish I could. I don't know when and how that's going to work, but I love you, Cuba. I would like to come to your country. Please have me.
Yay! That sounds awesome. I love this question. This comes from Jabarev on Twitter. If you could change anything about the music industry, what would it be?
Wait, this is important. I can only get one thing. This is so hard. How do
That is
you
a
do
really
this?
hard question.
I wish that there weren't genres. Like I wish that, and I feel like that's something that's kind of changed a bit in the future world where there's so much blending between different things, and that's something that I love in music and that I strive to do in music, is to blend a lot of things together. But I don't know. It feels like it's still a thing where it's like, oh, well, I like this and I don't like that. And radio and the whole way that it all works is like there's categories for everything. And that can be hard because like a band like us and so many other bands and musicians and artists don't really fit into one category. I don't know. I hate labeling. I wish there wasn't a category. Like I
Just
would love it if it
open
was
season.
just music.
Yeah.
That's such a weird answer. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Oh
No,
well.
I love that answer. I'm with you on that because I think sometimes with different genres, people have to call that their guilty pleasure or something, and I don't think you should
Right.
have to feel guilty about music that makes you happy. So I'm
Yeah.
with you. It should just be
Exactly.
open for all.
Exactly. Yes.
This is another great question from Karima Miras One. There we go on Twitter. She would like to know if you would consider making a song with Chino, Corey Taylor, or Jonathan Davis.
Yeah. Chino is one of my favorite voices, period. So that actually would be really incredible. Yes. Please let us do a collab with the Deftones. I would love that.
I'm
All those
on
other
board
guys
with
are
that.
great too. I love Korn. That's all great. Yes. But my favorite voice of those would be Chino. It inspired me from a young age. Yeah, I would love that.
That's awesome. Eternal Remorse on Twitter would like to know, back when you recorded The Chain, you had mentioned that you recorded another cover song. Is that going to be on The Bitter Truth, or is that for something else?
Well, we haven't finished it. We got something started. And no, it's not going to be on The Bitter Truth. It's just something that we want to do. I'm not going to give that away yet.
Now we're all excited.
There's just so much. It's like we got to just do stuff. I feel like when it works, this has been such a year and a time for just like living on the fly. Like when it makes sense to do something and hey, I had an idea, do it now. Like just do it now because who knows if we're going to be here tomorrow. So
this really, these times have kind of changed everything for all of us, just our perspectives and what's important and what to focus on. So go do it. If you want to do it, go do it. Make it happen. I think one thing that we got to talk about, especially being that I'm a new mom and I know you've got the mom thing going on, keeping kids entertained in quarantine, homeschooling, what's going to happen with trick or treating, all of this. How is being a mom in quarantine going for you?
I feel a lot of guilt all the time. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I never feel like I can do enough for my son, because I know that like I can't give him everything he needs at just being us, so there's been a lot of and then I need to go work and like I'm inspired and I'm listening to what I'm talking about, like I'm in here all the time, I'm hammering away, we're working, I'm in the studio, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, so it's hard anytime to do anything else but try to give him everything I got. So it's not easy being a mom in quarantine. Like it's hard to take time for yourself, and not just for yourself. When I say time for yourself, I don't mean like a bath. I mean, that's great too. I'm not even putting that down. I haven't had a bath. I should take a bath. No, I mean like to work on what your work, like to do what you need to do, is because we are all having to make sacrifices this year. And that you just feel bad for the kids. That sucks for kids. And it's just out of our control. So yeah, all we can do is make the best decisions we can and stay safe the best that we can, and just know that this isn't forever. So yeah, I feel like that's the hard part.
Yeah, one day at a time, baby. One day at a time.
Yeah.
We've actually had a few people that had reached out. I think considering everything that we're all going through, everybody's mental health is taking a little bit of a toll. So we wanted to know, how are you managing things like anxiety or stress? And are you baking through it? Are you baking to help get you through these harder moments?
I have done that. I actually, things that being productive makes me feel better. Like from an early age, like anxiety, depression, all those things. The way that I am able to kind of like self-soothe and like create my own therapy really is through the catharsis of creation. So whether it's making music or making food or painting something, whatever it is, just like creation makes me feel good. And our music definitely, to me, isn't depressing music, but like I'll go there. Like that's kind of what we do. We'll like go to the deepest, hardest places. And for me, it brings me so much satisfaction to be able to do that, because it took something in my life that was really painful or really hard or a really big struggle and spun it into something that I love and something that other people can love. Being able to do that with something, for me, makes me feel like suffering through that time or that event wasn't just pain. It wasn't just a waste. And it just sucks for me. It's like, no, I can turn that into something good. So you asked about cooking. Like that's a little different, but it's instant gratification because you get to eat the results. So I also love cooking. And during this time, yeah, I started baking bread a little bit. I whipped out this old bread making machine that my grandma gave me years ago. And also started making dumplings like from scratch, like the dough. Like,
oh yeah.
It's actually not that hard. It's just time consuming. You have to think about it ahead and then freeze the dough like in the right shape so it's ready to go, and then you pull it out and you make your filling and you put it in there and you steam those things, and man,
oh,
so good.
That's what I want for dinner. That sounds fantastic.
Me too. I should have started yesterday.
Oh my gosh. Well, those are some fantastic tips. I would also say that just in general, use my voice. The fact that you brought so many female rock goddesses together to be a part of that song, for me as a female with a voice, it just made me feel this like kind of new, I don't know, like I'm part of this badass tribe, and you're kind of our leader right now. So I just wanted to say thank you for bringing that into our lives. For anybody that hasn't listened to it yet, you got to jump on the interwebs and check it out. We've just had such a great time chatting with you this morning. Well, this morning where I am, it may be a different time wherever everybody else is tuning in from today. But thank you so much. The Bitter Truth. We're not getting a release date yet, but we're all on pins and needles just waiting.
It's happening now. It's happening all
It's happening. Well, thank you so much, Amy.
And thank you guys for all your questions.
Yes, we'll talk to you next time, and have a great day.
Okay, you too. Bye.
Bye.